بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد باب رؤية الله تعالى الفصل الأول عن جرير بن عبد الله قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنكم سترون ربكم عيانا وفي رواية قال كنا جلوسا عند رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فنظر إلى القمر ليلة البدر فقال إنكم سترون ربكم كما ترون هذا القمر لا تضامون في رؤيته فإن استطعتم ألا تغلبوا على صلاة قبل طلوع الشمس وقبل غروبها فافعلوا ثم قرأ وسبح بحمد ربك قبل طلوع الشمس وقبل غروبها متفق عليه. Jareer ibn Abdullah. This chapter is about seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sighting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ru'yat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, didar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First hadith sharif narrated by Jareer ibn Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that you will see your Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala by your naked eyes. And into one riwayat, he said that we were sitting by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam looking at the full moon onto the night of full moon. He said, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that soon you will be seeing your Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala the way you are looking at this moon, and you don't have to rush while looking into this moon. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that if you can help yourself, then do not become overpowered onto the salat which you need to perform before sunrise, and onto the salat which you need to perform before sunset. Do not become overpowered and perform these two salats. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam recited, وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ قَبْلَ طُلُوءِ الشَّمْسِ وَقَبْلَ غُرُوبِهَا. And hadith sharif is being narrated by Bukhari Sharif and Muslim Sharif, that glorify and praise your Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala before sunrise and before sunset. So this ayat also indicate towards Fajr Salat and towards Asr Salat. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam also, while looking at the full moon onto the night of full moon, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said into the different narration, he said that you will see your Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala physically and by your naked eyes into Jannat. And into another riwayat, Jareer ibn Abdullah said that we are sitting by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he is looking at moon onto the night of full moon. And he said, very soon you will be looking at your Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala the way now you are looking at this moon. And you don't face any difficulty to look onto this moon. Exactly on the same way you will face no difficulty looking at Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did encourage them and did encourage us all by saying that when it comes to two salat, then make sure that you perform. Do not become overpowered about these two salats. Be very particular and perform them both. One is before sunrise, which we had performed just now, Fajr Salat. And one before sunset, which is Asr Salat. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that keep performing these two salats and all salats, And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam recited that glorify Allah and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before sunrise and before sunset. And in this ayat also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting us to be extra particular in performing Fajr Salat and in performing Asr Salat. So your Salat is your rank and position when you will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we look forward to it. We look forward to it. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting and looking at moon, and he remembered that the way we are looking at the moon and we facing no difficulty, exactly on the same way we will be seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yesterday we were talking about that will be iftar-e-azam. That will be ultimate favor Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will treat Jannati with. That will be ultimate favor Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will treat Jannati with. And as we have heard many times, that there will be ranks of people. Some people will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once in a week. Some people will see every day. Some people will see every morning and every evening. Some people will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whenever they will feel like seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we perform salat, salat is our Mi'raj. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed Mi'raj, and in his Mi'raj, meeting between himself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took place. Our meeting between ourselves and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes place while performing salat. The dedicated salat you perform, devoted salat you perform, full of sincerity salat you perform, full of concentration salat you perform. And you perform salat, an ta'budallaha ka'annaka tarahu. You are performing salat or you are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without seeing Him. Your commitment is such, your attention is such, your concentration is such, your dedication is such, that without seeing Him, you are seeing Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our salat very stronger. Every salat is a ticket for seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every salat you are climbing ladder of the high ranks of seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There will be some people into the Jannat, according to ulama, that they will be always in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the times. Imagine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us high ambitions. And people who struggle and who strive for the whole ummah in general, they will be treated more highly by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the whole ummah you struggle, you strive. For the cause of ummah, an example, people of Palestine, they are struggling for the cause of Masjidul Aqsa. That is the cause of ummah. They are struggling for the sake of millah. So they will be treated more highly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us high ambition, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us vastness in fulfilling the cause of the vast ummats of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in wa man tabi'ahum ila yawmiddin. Ya awwal al-awwalin, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, ya dhal quwwati al-mateen, ya dhal manni fala yumannu alayk, يا ذا الطول يا ذا الجلال والإكرام لا إله إلا أنت زهر اللاجئين وجار المستجيرين ومأمن الخائفين يا مأمن الخائفين إن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب أشقياء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده الكتاب. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فاقبضنا غير مفتونين. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقربنا إلى حبك. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك وغضبك والنار. اللهم إنا نسألك الشوق إلى لقائك والنظر إلى وجهك. اللهم متعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا أبدا ما أبقيتنا. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى والمسلمين المظلومين في فلسطين وفي غزة العزة. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم انصرهم ولا تنصر عليهم. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك.